Welcome dear students, I am Mr. Abhijit. In this session, we are going to see determination of alkalinity present in water. Aim of this practical is estimation of different types and amounts of alkalinity in water by indicator method. For this, we require burette, pipette, burette stand, conical flask and beaker. We require chemicals, that is standard HCl or H2SO4 solution, that is one of the acid, then phenolphthalein indicator and methyl orange indicator. So for determination of alkalinity, we need a water sample. Now we'll see some of the basic points or theory for this practical. Alkalinity is nothing but the presence of salts of calcium and magnesium like bicarbonates, carbonates, phosphates, silicates or borates, which are having higher pH, means pH greater than 7. So that comes under the basic pH range. Alkalinity of water can be considered mainly due to, so as water is alkaline, means it is in basic medium. That's why it is because of hydroxides only, carbonates only, bicarbonates only, or there may be a combination of hydroxides and carbonates, or there may be a combination of carbonates and bicarbonates. So these are the 5 combinations by which water may become alkaline in nature. So highly alkaline water may lead to caustic embrittlement in the metals. Okay, so this is also responsible for deposition of precipitate. You may call this as a sludge in the boiler pipes. Then what are the salts which are responsible for alkalinity in water, and what is the amount of the particular salt can be determined by simple acid-base titration method by using phenolphthalein indicator and the another one, that is methyl orange indicator. So this phenolphthalein indicator gives you P point and the methyl orange indicator gives you M point in the titration. Now we'll see how phenolphthalein endpoint marks the reaction. So what are the reaction takes place when we'll get the phenolphthalein endpoint. So when there is a presence of hydroxide ions and when there is presence of carbonate ions, that shows the phenolphthalein endpoint. Again, when methyl orange endpoint occurs, while completion of or while presence of OH minus ions, carbonate ions and bicarbonate ions. Now the amount of acid used up to P endpoint corresponds to the hydroxide ions and half of the carbonate ions. Then the amount of acid used after P endpoint, that point is nothing but the M point now. So that corresponds to half of the normal carbonate ions and bicarbonate ions. In this way, the amount of total acid that is used, that represents the total alkalinity present in the water sample. From this experiment, we will get 2 values, that is P endpoint and M endpoint. The alkalinity is expressed as ppm in terms of calcium carbonate. So this is the table. According to this table, if P is equal to 0, then alkalinity is due to bicarbonate ions. If P is equal to half, then alkalinity is due to the carbonate ions. If P is equal to M, means P endpoint is equal to methyl orange endpoint, then the alkalinity is due to the hydroxide ions. If P is greater than half of M, then the alkalinity is due to both hydroxides and carbonate ions. if P is smaller as compared to half of the M, then the alkalinity is due to carbonates and bicarbonates. So, and after finding the suitable combination of alkalinity, you are able to write the result of the given titration. Now we'll see the procedure of this particular experiment, that is titration. So what we have to do, we have to take 20 ml water sample in a conical flask, and to that we have to add phenolphthalein indicator. As this water sample is alkaline in nature, the color of that solution becomes pink. Then the water sample is titrated against hydrochloric acid from the burette till the pink color changes or pink color disappears. Means pink color changes from pink to colorless. Then whatever titration is performed, the amount of HCl added is recorded. Then 2 to 3 drops of methyl orange indicator is added to the same solution, which is placed in a conical flask. The color of solution becomes yellow. Again you have to titrate the solution with HCl from burette, and the color of the particular solution changes from yellow to orange or orange red. Then you have to stop the titration and you have to record the reading as M endpoint. Again, the titrated value is recorded from the beginning of the experiment as M endpoint. Means at this point, when pink color disappears, you will get P endpoint. Then you continue the titration and you will get M endpoint. Then you have to calculate alkalinity according to the table. Now what actually we have done is we have taken a water sample and phenolphthalein indicator where the color is pink. Then we have titrated this solution with HCl from burette and it becomes colorless. Then again to that colorless solution we have added methyl orange indicator. The color becomes yellow. Then when again we titrated the yellow color solution with same HCl, then the color becomes red. So at this point we'll get P point, that is phenolphthalein point, and at this color change we'll get methyl orange endpoint. This is the observation table. Suppose I have taken 20 ml water sample for the 3 readings. So if I write the endpoint P, that is phenolphthalein endpoint, suppose the first reading is 1.7 ml, second reading is suppose 1.5 ml, and third reading is suppose 1.7 ml. Again, in the first titration, after this P endpoint, I have added methyl orange indicator, and after that color is changed from yellow to orange red. Then I got here the methyl orange endpoint. So the titration is having this 9.9 burette reading. For this, suppose there is a 10.0 ml reading, and for this, suppose there is again 10.0 ml reading. Now you have to calculate the mean. So how this mean is calculated? You have to add these 3 values and divided by 3. Then you will get P endpoint. So the P endpoint is 1.63. Then you can calculate the methyl orange endpoint. If I take the mean of this, so what is the mean? It could be 10.0. So depending on these mean values of P endpoint and M endpoint, we'll go for calculation. So in the calculation, first of all, we'll see for phenolphthalein endpoint, that is P, as we have taken this water sample and HCl solution. So by applying the formula N1V1 is equal to N2V2, N, that is nothing but the P endpoint, that is the normality multiplied by 20, equal to N by 10 multiplied by P endpoint. Then NP, that is the normality for phenolphthalein indicator endpoint. We can calculate the strength. So the strength is nothing but the normality multiplied by equivalent weight of CaCO3 multiplied by 1000. And you will get by simplification the phenolphthalein endpoint at this alkalinity in the form of ppm. Now the second calculation for methyl orange endpoint, that is M. Again water versus HCl titration. Again here N1V1 is equal to N2V2. Now this N is for methyl orange endpoint multiplied by 20. This 20 is 20 ml water sample we have taken. N by 10 multiplied by M endpoint. Now if you simplify this, you will get the strength, and the strength is nothing but the normality multiplied by equivalent weight of CaCO3 multiplied by 1000. So you will get, after simplification and calculation, alkalinity value for methyl orange endpoint in ppm. So these are the points which are on the basis of the calculation of alkalinity according to the table that I have already explained to you. So after finding a suitable combination of alkalinity, you can calculate extent of alkalinity as per the given table in previous slides. So how do you write the result now? So the alkalinity is due to which type of ions? So there are three types of ions we have seen. Including combination, there are 5. Okay. So you can write the alkalinity due to the presence of one or more ions in the result. So you can calculate the total alkalinity of the water sample in ppm. In this way, therefore, with the help of simple acid-base titration, we have calculated the alkalinity and what type of salts are present in water, that also we come to know. So with this, we conclude this session. Thank you.